Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, YouTube, to more MSQ playthrough Final Fantasy XIV Online. It's been a couple of days. I spent the weekend leveling up Dark Knight, so this is actually ready to go for when we are in Shadowbringers. It's level 70 now. So I'll be, if you see me like switching to Dark Knight to turn in quests, that's why. That's because I'd rather have the XP go to that, since that'll be next up. But anyways, without further ado. In the palace? No, not me, lad. Surely you've heard stories of a mad king. He used to hold public executions up on the divine audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice to say that I stayed away from the palace as much as possible. You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know is of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered, and after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. This is all for the Mad King's treasure trove, I believe. This is the Arenvald quest journey adventure thing that he's got going on. I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you are hell's-bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arenvald, who's the king's head scribe. It's 25 years since the Mad King. Yes, I'm Arenvald. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well. I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those are terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were fortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. Resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is... I feel like this is a dungeon, and I can't remember which it is. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. This just all sounds like a dungeon. I just can't place what dungeon is coming up. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact that the trove's discovery, hoping to... Jesus Christ, let me start over, for fuck's sake. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself. I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for so long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. What of you, MSQ? Were your investigations any more fruitful? And I just realized I had in the mixer, this turned up to like 50. Usually at like 25. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Alighieri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said not of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning him a yarn? Do you think? Did you believe him, MSQ? His fear seemed genuine. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arenvald's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I shall share my theory, there's a matter I would clarify. Arenvald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamigan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was emerging third eye, the kind you see in pureblood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Oh, shit, buddy. That's terrible. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived. I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvald, and I apologize. It could not have been pleasant to recall. I felt it best to clear in our intentions. MSQ, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvald's noble cause, and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? And I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's trove, if you are minded to hear it. Let's go, bending. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we just adjourn. Oh, I think I know where this is now. But first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of the Loch Shield. Where am I going? So, excuse me. I have coffee, I swear. Boxeld. I can kind of tell what it is with the picture. I just can't remember the name. A lot of the Stormblood dungeons kind of just shoom over my head. Forgive me, it was not my intention to draw up proceedings. I simply wish to have the lock in sight while I explain things. Prior to the great flood of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, the The salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral Era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by a war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of the locked cell. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there, not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. You're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. MSQ, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the lock and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvald and I will seek out an intercelled portal within the palace. Scala. Oh, no. I think I need to go to the other side. Okay, we're around the corner from where it says to go below. I'm gonna jump into this water here. Oof, I hate it. I hate that so much. Ugh. So is it the Drowned City of Scala? Is that the name of the dungeon? You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Dang, this was a dry ravine once? That's crazy. You come to a worn stone door, standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. MSQ, it's Alphanode. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a teleportation portal concealed by enchantments. The markings indicate it leads to an underground cavern. What news on your end? Do you believe it leads into the ruins? Then I dare say we will be able to meet within. Go on and head through the door. By the way, I took the liberty in calling on a friend for help. I guarantee she's both dependable and discreet. We'll see you soon. Probably you, Gary. Yeah. Hello, dungeon. Yup. So if I go here, it is... Oh. Moldva. DPS. And this is... the Drowned City of Scala. Okay. We'll see you when the queue pops. So this queue is probably going to take a while. I think what I'm going to do instead is go on as a Dark Knight and just do the Trust. It lets me, let's see. Okay, so I need... I think I still need eye level. So we'll do it as a Samurai, but we'll do it with the Trust. So we'll have Arenvald, Alphanode, our adventuring party, and then Jamoldva, who we've never heard of before. Who we've seen in cutscenes, but we've never actually gotten her name. there you go. I've been playing so much Dark Knight. Feels weird to play Samurai. If you think about it, I had to get Dark Knight from 30 to 70, 40 levels. It was a little gruesome. This dungeon's gonna take a little bit longer than it usually would because trust. Oh, we have to defeat these? Okay. Alright, this one I can go further ahead. Give Arenvald time to grab everything. This is gonna take so much. We would have been done by now if this was real people actually spamming AoEs. I've never skipped ahead in a dungeon, like for the video. I don't want to start now. I feel like going through the dungeon adds to the immersion, to the experience. Like, we're here for the drowned city of Skala, you know, we should explore it all. Your pole. pull. Push. Nice. Flat arm's length works right there. I'm not gonna do large pulls, honestly, because they do so much better killing single targets. So let's just get through it how we have to. They really suck at doing large pulls, which is super upsetting. It's the fact that I have sprint up and available every single time. and get to them all. Can't tell if the others were following me or if they're going on their own path. Thankfully, I don't have to do that anymore. I think you just become the little Spriggans now. So many symbols. I was just gonna sit in that Venn diagram and take no damage. Secret compartment makes me wanna play Minecraft. Dun, dun. They did change this. Oh, look at all the treasure and stuff. Okay, the treasure trove. We're in it now. Thing better. So it used to be you churn into the Zangbetos with a little transmutation circle, and you, while you're transformed, be able to go over these right here. You'd be able to go, you'd be able to float across this as the Zangbeto, but now you just have like a magical road. I miss the old way. Alright, we're almost done. Got one more trash mob. A few more, because I'm not going to combine them. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. That's the Mad King. The purple hair? That's wild. I'm assuming that's him. King Theodore. Is it Zayla? No, it's not Zayla, it's just Zayla hair. Two in a row. Wow. Three in a row. Oh, definitely not the Mad King. No, purple hair. So this is the treasure trove, huh?
It would appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
great to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Arenvald and I tried to do our fair share, but I fear you ended up bearing the bulk of the burden as usual. You truly led the way with your adventuring prowess, my friend. Aye, without your help, I reckon we'd still be fumbling about in the dark. I'm glad I called on you. Must say, I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What? Like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? I wish you could have seen the look on your face, Alphinaud. Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that is all that matters. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lee should be the first. Seconded, she is bound to be delighted. If I am no longer needed, then I shall take my leave. Of course, don't let us keep you. Thanks again, and say hello to Vamar for me. Now then, there's to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, so Lisa's sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Oh, I was supposed to turn those in on the Dark Knight. Doodly bobbly beep. Oh, man. Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, Lise. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like the answer. You're joking. Mad King's Trove? I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have a Maskin Alphinaud in their party. The credit of finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it go towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. There's as much as you say. Arenvald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it on our own. I've taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you will assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood? I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there's one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphinaud. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give us, Alphinaud. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. Deep breaths, tell me what happened. The mob's gathered outside headquarters, and they've started making demands. You'd best come and see for yourself. No rest for the wicked.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
Oh,
Leave it till you hand her over!
they want Fordola.
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on? Someone let slip about Fordola.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down! Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye, and my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair. For it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast. It is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance, but we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Thanks, Robon. Listening to their anger, I could feel myself being swept away. There's a difficult tide to stem. Plus that same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. Now the war's over, all the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. Starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls even thought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace. But maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even began. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. Wouldn't it be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Sicaran to participate. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Fordola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Namiko, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated, and anyone who even resisted? Who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric and Xenos. your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Fordola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past. A moment of it anyway during the fight. She's done terrible things, aye, unforgivable things, but in some ways, she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born. And that's something I can understand. Alright. Speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Fordola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends. She will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. Alright, and we're gonna turn this in on the Dark Knight. Give the commander's permission to enter then.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you? Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it. You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola. I see you for what you are.
Oh, little Fordola.
Come along, Fordola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right! Father, what's Lord Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who'd gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
And somebody put that old bitch in a home.
Traitors!
Please, you have to do something. My husband and daughter are in danger.
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens. We have rights.
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
Put that old bitch in a home.
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Vidola, please. You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier? Oh, gods. What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past? And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
Oh, she saw our past, huh?
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
For those I have lost, for those I can yet save.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
Ooh, that was heavy. All right, well, that's going to do it for this block. We will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.